Okay, coders, we're live here. This is Keith and Dylan coming at you live real quick because we wanted to introduce you to some cool new rumors that we found out. So the biggest, latest new rumor right out of Ubisoft is actually that there is a brand new Assassin's Creed on the horizon. I know, surprise, surprise, Assassin's Creed is coming out from Ubisoft. Who'd have thought? But this one's kind of cool. And so I wanted Dylan to just kind of break it off and talk a little bit about the leak and what we're hearing so far.
So biggest part that came out was a series of, I believe it was 6 screenshots off of a monitor. And it's rumored that it's off of a teaser trailer that's been floating around the Ubisoft office, kind of getting people hyped in-house before E3 and all the big announcements start coming out that might have not worked on the project. They're saying it's called Assassin's Creed Origins, and I've also seen on a few Reddit posts and stuff a little less reliable, Assassin's Creed Empire. But
okay,
almost across the board, they're showing that it's going to be set in ancient Egypt. So that's pretty exciting. This is going to be the earliest setting for an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, by quite a bit, I would say, actually. Like,
oh yeah, and they haven't specifically said what time in Egypt. And I mean, the Egyptians were around for 2,000 years really before they finally fell off. So it could be any. They could go deep, or they could be like, it could be Greek. It's probably I'm thinking it's going to be later Egyptian, where there's going to be interactions with the Greeks and stuff like that.
Nice.
Because some of the photos showed the boats and your ability to go through the Mediterranean. So I would assume that interactions. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so this is the screenshot that they leaked.
Yep, and then there's some more too if you have those.
I only saw this one, but I can keep looking.
Yeah. But yeah, so I would assume that they would have the Greeks and stuff for interactions on the water. Otherwise, you'd just be seeing people along the coast, and fishermen and stuff. So yeah, you almost can figure that it's going to be later Egyptian. But then they've also in the leak said that there's possible chances that it's going to take place in France in World War II era, somewhere in the East, so somewhere over in Eastern Asia. But this is just me guessing, but I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Spoiler alert: you do a few missions in World War World War One. Yeah, World War One. You do like a little branch off missions, and it kind of helps develop the overall plot of the modern day. And
is that Syndicate or Unity? Because Unity did a little bit like that, right?
Yeah, but this is Syndicate I'm talking about.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I didn't play Syndicate, so.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so I could see them doing that where it kind of like ties in some loose ends, some overall overarching story.
Yeah.
By doing that's pretty much what they did in Syndicate. It was like, oh, that was cool to know, and now I understand, and it introduced some stuff.
So interesting fact. I know you talked about the name kind of being up in arms. According to Eurogamer, they said that they have some sources inside of Ubisoft that are confirming that the name is supposed to be Assassin's Creed Origins. So that's locked down for that. I mean, obviously, subject to change. It's still not even officially announced, but it makes sense when you're talking about like the origin story for almost like religious wars and stuff like that, which is what kind of those assassins are all built upon and stuff like that. So it'll be super interesting. The image that we saw is actually from a specific mission. They even were able to say it's called Assassinate the Crocodile.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that sounds awesome.
Heck.
I'm assuming the crocodile is somebody you have to kill, not a fucking crocodile. but I'd take either one. Right. Yeah, and then I'm seeing that it also includes the following text: follow Shadia to Knut's Villa. I'm not going to be able to say any of these names because they're all from Egyptian history.
Yeah.
And basically, it sounds like you're trying to kill a king that lived during the time of the 5th dynasty, which is pretty crazy.
Okay. So that's cool. They kind of give you a little time frame there.
Yeah.
So, and then one big piece that I was reading about was one of the pictures showed multiple assassins, and they said that they're saying that it's based around the original Assassin's Guild, and that it is possible that it's going to feature two main characters, a man and a woman, and that
Okay.
playing off of the same kind of style that Assassin's Creed Syndicate did.
Nice.
And I mean, I played that game twice now through, and I liked it. I like the style, I like being able to do the skill customization
Mm-hmm.
for Assassin. They both had like different ending abilities. You know, a little bit more fighter versus like stealthy. You
Yeah.
know, lets you cater to individual gamers that way.
Gets you to play how you want to play, not necessarily how the game wants you to play.
Exactly. And I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't take a few things from Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It's the best-selling Assassin's game like to date.
Is
So,
it really?
yep, they've made the most money off that one. So,
I'm kind of surprised. I mean, that's great. I didn't know. I heard some good things about that one, especially after Unity, but
oh gosh, yeah, no, I don't even want to talk about Unity.
it's fucking terrible. But
But yeah, and then big part is that they're talking that it's going to be more open world in this one. They've actually compared it to Skyrim style at points where it's not the main story that shapes your characters, but it's your choices, like what you want to do, side missions, that sort of stuff. That more builds your characters. So I mean, they've had side missions in the past, but they've always kind of followed the same direction as the main missions, and they branch off of the main missions. So this is sounding like there might be, you know, larger side missions, and they've had the time to do it. They've been in development for a few years, so I don't see why they wouldn't have the stories and you know, writing done for some longer, more solo kind of side missions.
no, I think this is all great. Like, I mean, from what I can see, the setting is a lot of what makes Assassin's Creed special. I can tell you that, like, I kind of fell off a little bit with Unity simply because, like, while it was beautiful to look at and, I mean, it ran like shit, but also it was just, like, not set in a super interesting city. Like, I guess it is in, like, a general sense, but most of those landmarks were there, have been there forever. So I wasn't like blown away by Unity and like how it structured that. I think it was more interesting when it was Black Flag, and how you were able to go to different pirate villages and stuff like that, places that you never could have seen. You can't even open a history book and like get an accurate representation of, because no one who was there lived to tell the tale, or the historians that did, you know, are, you know, drawing it based upon their interpretation. So it's kind of cool that we're going to another place where it's kind of a tall tale almost. Like, it's a little bit bigger than history. Like, yeah, we know a lot about Egypt, but, you know, how they built the pyramids, you know, who was in charge, what that meant, what that looked like for slavery, for things like this. I think it's interesting. And then you add to the fact that they're bringing back like sea battles and things like that.
Yes.
And I'm fucking on board, man. Like, this sounds great. This sounds like, I don't know, it's an Assassin's Creed wet dream to me.
Yeah, I mean, them being able to, like you said, they're going to have a lot more creative freedom because of the time period. And then if, you know, they marry some stuff from Syndicate with the multi assassins and the main story, and some stuff from Black Flag, like the naval combat. I mean, I'm really excited for it overall.
Definitely.
And then them just comparing it to Skyrim, like developers comparing it to Skyrim, you can't just do that like on a whim. You can't just compare things to Skyrim and you know.
No, I mean, you got to back it up. If you do that, it's kind of like, otherwise it comes across as kind of like a poor man's Skyrim, and that's not good.
Exactly, and they've said it in a few different interviews, and you know that's going to catch like hardcore RPG fans' ear. You know, when they're starting to do things like that. So, I mean, I'm hoping they fulfill, you know, all their promises. They're not promises, but their hype that they're creating for themselves already prior to E3 even.
Man, and I said this to, I don't know, a half dozen people who loved, you know, Assassin's Creed for so long, and I was one of those people. I really liked the original Assassin's Creed. I got into Black Flag. I wanted to like Unity, obviously. We know how that turned out. But what I can say is this: like, I thought they needed time. They needed space between the releases, and what they weren't doing was giving it time. Like, it was Black Flag, it was Unity, it was Syndicate. And then finally they took a year off, and they were like, maybe we're going to slow it down and actually think this through. And so did Call of Duty to a certain extent, right? Like, by adding a third developer, they were able to do that as well. So I think that this is the thing that you're going to have to hold on to, is that maybe developers are learning their lesson. Maybe they're realizing that if they keep pumping out the same fucking game with a different skin, they're going to lose some of those. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that this is the sign of things to come for Ubisoft, because they need a big hit. They need something to put them back on the map, because right now they're not. It's not they're doing bad. It's that things are not quite hitting as hard as I think they're expecting them to do. Like, yeah, Syndicate was the best selling ever, but
from a AAA studio like that,
yeah,
you're not seeing the kind of hard hitting every single time as they should be.
yeah, they're selling, but there's not excitement in the selling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And
so it's the first time I've been excited in a while.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. And I have a quote. This is from last year, from an interview from one of the PR people from over at Ubisoft.
Okay.
I'm just going to read it. This is a straight quote. It says, I don't want the player to go through the story created by someone. We have games like that still, but I ask more and more that we let the player write their own story, that they set themselves a long-term goal, identify the opportunities that are open to them, and choose not to follow the path that was decided for them. Now, this wasn't directly referencing the Assassin's game at the time. This was their overall take of the games coming in the future. But, I mean, this would be one of their larger games since that interview that's going to be coming out. So I'm hoping that it has, a lot that he was, talking about it without talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Ubisoft does that a lot. So it's pretty likely that we're going to get, some interesting tidbits without them actually saying directly what game they're talking about or things like that. So, I mean, the signs are there. Like, this is 2 games in a row from developers that I didn't expect to be excited for. Call of Duty World War II, and then Ubisoft again. I'd kind of fallen off the bandwagon. Like, I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to keep buying Ubisoft games, but I think I'm in, man. I'm waiting for the trailer. Obviously, I'm waiting for some gameplay impressions. Hopefully, they don't make the same mistakes. Hopefully, they learn from what they did wrong, and they take from the best games plus add new. And I'm ready for it, man.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I think they need to trim the fat, and I think after their last 3 games or 4 games or so, they can identify that fat a little bit easier. So
yeah.
Like you said, they can pull the good and kind of discard what didn't work. And they had the timetable to do it. So overall, I'm really excited for it. And they're talking about releasing some hype stuff before E3. Whether that means that theatrical kind of teaser trailer that's going around the Ubisoft offices or something larger even. I'm gonna have my eyes open. That's for sure.
Dude, for sure. I'm on board. I'm ready to go. I think I need to go kill some King Tut. I think that's what needs to happen. I'm really hoping to see some big time. And again, I don't know the timing on all these things, so I need to do some research. But I really want to see some big time like members of historical Egypt, and I get to go kill them. And the one thing we didn't talk about is actually this one is going to have modern day as well.
Oh yes. So in Syndicate, there is a very, very brief. It's not so much gameplay; it's cutscenes of modern day, but it drastically pushed the story of the modern day along. I thought it hit you with some holy shit moment.
That's awesome.
So hopefully in this one they said there's going to be gameplay in the modern day, so they're going to go a little bit back. But it is 100% confirmed that there's not going to be Desmond in this. This is not going to be Desmond at all.
Time for a new guy.
So it'll be interesting what they do though. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't played Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but yeah, they definitely start dropping some bombshells at the very end of that game.
That's cool.
So I'm really excited to see that progressed along.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, yeah, I mean, so that'll be nice to kind of get back into the modern day. I was never a huge fan of those sections, but at the same time, if they can do some interesting things rather than the slow walk through the office environment shit.
Yeah,
it's the worst part of Black Flag.
Black Flag, seriously, I was just gonna say there was some good information to be had if you do a little snooping, but
little background story.
Time put into it, you could have Wikipedia'd it.
Yeah, I mean, when I started realizing about halfway through that game that I was not going to get any actual meaningful information, I was just like, why the fuck am I still here? So I just wanted to get back out on the open seas. So I think they're going to learn from those mistakes. I'm hoping to see the best from this, but I don't know, color me intrigued. I'm ready to go. You have anything else you wanted to add about about this crazy news break?
Nope, not about this. There was part of this leak. They mentioned a little bit about Far Cry 5, and I plan on touching on that in a future video. So little teaser for an up and coming. But as far as
another series that got a little weird there for a second.
Yeah, definitely, and we might do a video and talk about that once some more information comes along on that.
Good.
But yeah, as far as Assassin's Creed goes, that's all I really have. So right now, if all you coders would like, go down, hit the like, subscribe, shoot some comments for us, what you'd like to hear us talk about, any information you might have heard. Just help the channel along.
Yeah. We really appreciate the support, and keep an eye out for future discussion videos, because we've got some exciting guests that might be coming down the pike in the next week or so. So we're excited to bring you some fun content. I think that we got a lot of stuff coming around the corner, so look out for that. And yeah, like Dylan said, like, comment, subscribe, support us in any way you can. We really appreciate it. Well, for all of us coders, that's it for today, and we're signing off. So stay classy, coders.